Hi, everybody, and welcome to our last Research Methods Twitch live stream. I cannot believe that this is our very last one that we have together, that we are in week number 17 and the last week of our class. Hard to believe that we're at that point. Summer is almost here. I don't know if you can feel it. It definitely feels like it's coming very soon. So, can you all hear me and see me okay? Someone let me know in the chat if everything's coming through all right before I get going here. Wait just a minute to make sure. I see some of you coming through. Yes, yes, thumbs up. Okay, perfect. Thank you for letting me know. I appreciate it. So let's go over to Canvas together and take a look at what we have going on this week. Kind of a different week for us. It is our final week, so we are in week number 17. I obviously sent out some feedback about last week, but let's focus on what we have going on this week. I want to make sure everyone is feeling good about the final exam, about the experiment proposal project, everything that's going on with that. And of course, as always, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the chat and I would be happy to answer them for you. Again, we are in week 17, so everything is due by this Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. This is our very last week and everything closes on Sunday, May 14th at 11:59 p.m. So just try and keep that in mind as you're looking at all the content. We have this week, we have exam number 4. We have the experiment proposal project. We have a little closing class survey. There's the optional extra credit. And then there's a little student learning outcome question that I am required to ask you for our psychology department. But the big things that we have this week are the exam and the proposal project. Again, both due by this Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. So let's talk about the exam. And then we'll talk about the proposal project and the survey and all of that. So exam number 4 is our fourth and final exam, right? It is worth 50 points. It is a little bit cumulative. So this exam has mostly stuff from this unit, but it does have a few kind of major concepts that we have covered throughout the semester. So just like usual, if you click on this, you have the same amount of time and things. So it's worth 50 points. There are 48 questions. It's due by this Sunday night. You have 60 minutes to complete it as always, and you only get the one attempt. So as usual, make sure that you're organized and ready before you begin. Make sure you have a good, quiet place to take your test with internet, that you have studied and prepared. You can use your notes in your book, of course, like usual, but you will run out of time if you're trying to look everything up, so just be mindful of that. And Canvas will stop your time at the scheduled deadline, so just be mindful, watch the time, skip things if you don't know the answer, and you can come back to it. And when you submit it, you will have an instant grade for the materials that were submitted. So good luck with this. It's nothing tricky. It's the same format and style as you've gotten used to, hopefully all semester long. But there are a few cumulative questions. So if we go back and we look at the study guide right here, up at the top for study guide number 4, what you'll see on here, as I've given you the stuff from this unit, so stuff on APA formatting part 3, there's stuff on chapter 14. Excuse me, sneezing on you here. Chapter 14, chapter 4, and then there is a little bit of a cumulative element. And what I've done is given you the things that I would like you to make sure you are familiar with. Thank you, thank you. And there are not a lot of them, but these are major concepts that we have covered. So scientific thinking versus intuition and common sense, types of claims, the 4 different types of validities, make sure you can identify them, correlational strengths and directions, like with scatter plots and Pearson's R, independent versus dependent variables, correlations versus experiments, and then samples versus population, and sampling methods and problems. So these are very kind of big core concepts that have come up over and over again, and I will ask you a handful of questions about these, but the majority of the test is on this unit, chapter 4, chapter 14, and APA formatting part 3. So as usual, make sure that you know everything that is on the study guide. You will see it on the exam. If it's not on here, you don't need to worry about it. This is plenty. So study, prepare, make flashcards, write it all out, whatever helps you. But the exam is due by Sunday night. Good luck. I hope it goes really well for all of you. Several of you have already taken it and done quite well. So I look forward to hopefully all of you doing really well. The other thing that we have, the other big thing this week is the experiment proposal project. Now, this is worth 60 points. It's more than a test, and there are a couple of elements to it. So here are the instructions. And then underneath it, I gave you a couple of samples. I gave you some sample papers that people wrote. And then I gave you 3 sample flyers as well. So if you're like, I'm not sure what you want me to do for the flyer, you can click on this one and you can see what somebody else did. So this was somebody's flyer that they made for their research. Again, like lots of images, some text, some information that's on there. So you can see that. You can also look at another one. Like I said, I posted 3 of them just so you can kind of get a general idea. Everybody did it a little bit differently, but the flyer should be something kind of colorful, grab your attention, kind of highlighting your study just ever so slightly. And it's just kind of a cool opportunity to summarize it up in one page. Obviously, the paper is quite a bit longer, so I gave you some sample papers here. One was on music and comprehension, one on social media, and one on water and energy. So if, for example, we click on number 2, what you can look at here is, this person obviously made a title page. It's formatted properly. They have their abstract. They have their different sections of the paper, and the formatting is all done in APA style. So you can just kind of take a look at what somebody did, right? And I thought that might be kind of helpful for you as you're formatting and finalizing your paper. So here are all the samples and here are the instructions. So let's take a look at the instructions together. And we talked about this before, way back, it was a few weeks ago when I gave us a week to kind of have you start building up and thinking about it. But again, this is worth 60 points, and the purpose of this project is to give you an opportunity to apply the research principles that you've learned over the course of the semester. You will be designing and writing a brief proposal for an original experiment in APA formatting, along with creating a digital aid that will be presented to the class online. Both the written portion and the digital visual aid will be submitted right here through the instruction link here on our Canvas page. So here are some of the kind of details. Length and formatting. Your paper should be 5 to 7 pages, including the title page and the abstract. Make sure that you are following APA style, right? So we've done title pages, we've done all of these different elements separately. In this case, you're putting them all together. It should have standard margins, type, double-spaced, APA style font, right? So all of those things are your kind of general length and formatting requirements. In terms of the content and the specifics, your paper itself is worth 45 points, right? You'll be writing this in APA style, and it should include a title page, an abstract, a methods section, and a discussion section. Now notice you're not having a references page. You don't need to cite anything. This is all your own original work, but it should have a title page in APA style with the name of your experiment, your name, affiliation, all the APA guideline kind of stuff. You should have a separate page that is an abstract with a brief summary of your proposed experiment, maybe what you would expect to find, since obviously you're not really doing this, and then a methods section. And this is going to be a really big part of your paper. The methods section is like the bulk of your paper. It should have a section on participants, a section on design, and a section on procedure. So in participants, you're going to talk about the number of people that you hope to recruit. Give me demographics, their age, gender. Give me enough information that if somebody wanted to actually do this or replicate your study, they would be able to. How will your participants be selected? Describe your sampling procedures. Be sure to be detailed in describing how and where you will find your subjects and how you will avoid any possible issues related to sampling. So really demonstrate to me that you understand how to avoid some of the common threats to external validity related to sampling and participants. In the second part, you'll talk about the design. Be sure to include to me if it's a between subjects, within subjects, or if it's mixed. Give me each independent variable and how it will be operationalized. What are the different levels or conditions? Give me the dependent variables and how they will be operationalized and measured. Be sure to discuss participants and how they will be assigned to groups and conditions. Again, be specific. Really demonstrate to me that now you know how to avoid common threats to internal validity in the design of your experiment. In the procedure section, you're going to talk about your experiment in enough detail that somebody could actually do it. What will participants be doing from the time they begin to the moment they finish? Be sure to stress the similarities and differences between different groups and conditions. When writing up your procedure, be sure to be mindful of any potential confounds or any pros and cons of your selected design. You're going to want to avoid confounds as much as possible and control for any potential disadvantages of your chosen study. You're also going to have a discussion section where you talk about your predictions for your experiment, along with any limitations or ethical issues that need to be addressed. You might also consider talking about future directions of study, right? Like, so you have your experiment. What are some future ways we could build on that? Other things that could be built on or studied from there? And that is the paper. Right, and again, your paper itself is worth 45 points. So please spend some time on this. It's almost as much as an exam. And this is your opportunity to show me that you can pull it all together from this course and apply it to an experiment proposal. You're also going to be making a little digital flyer and video. And this isn't worth as many points, but it is worth 15 points. You want to make sure you take it seriously. So with your digital flyer, it's going to be a single page highlighting your experiment proposal. Make sure that it's one that can be uploaded. Remember, that's doc, docx, RTF, and PDF. They're different files that you can upload. It should be colorful and engaging. It's one page, right? But it's highlighting your experiment in some way. And remember, I have those samples that you can check out. And then you're going to create a very short video, 2 minutes or less, describing your experiment proposal. You're going to upload this here to Canvas as part of your submission. And I really want this to be short, so stay under 2 minutes, because otherwise the file size is going to be so big that it won't let you upload it. But what you could do is you could use Zoom, and you could put the flyer up on the screen and just talk about it. You could make a little PowerPoint if that helps you, but use your digital flyer, right? That is your visual aid, and that's going to really help you. And just a couple of minutes talking about what you're doing, how it's going to go, what you expect to find, just kind of sharing all that information with the class. Now, your experimental proposal write-up, the visual aid, and video will all be submitted right here through the start assignment button up here at the top. It's due by this Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. before the class ends. And I did give you a rubric as well. So here's a rubric. Again, the paper's worth up to 45 points, the visual aid up to 10, and the video up to 5. So all in all, 60 points. Definitely something to spend a lot of time on, and hopefully you saved everything that you did a few weeks ago. That's going to be really helpful, and you're just going to be building on it for this paper. Are there any questions at all about the experiment proposal project? Again, here are the sample papers and flyers, but any questions or thoughts, anything at all about this, about the proposal project or the exam? Yes, so the video is just a really general and kind of quick overview describing your proposal. So what I would do if it were me is I would use Zoom, and I would put the flyer up on the screen, and then you can have a little video of you as well, kind of talking about it and highlighting your proposal. Yeah, it's under 2 minutes. You're just kind of describing to me and what you would be doing and kind of giving a little bit of information. No, you have to do the flyer and the video, right? So the flyer is worth 10 points and the video is worth 5. So you're uploading and doing both of them. Now, when you're doing the video, it could be just you. It could be just the flyer and you talking in the background. Or my favorite to do, like I'm doing here, is I'm sharing my screen, but there's also a small video of me that's on there. So it's completely up to you. Yeah, you don't have to use the flyer. I think it's kind of a nice anchor. If that helps you, you could put the flyer on the screen. But if that's distracting or if that's tricky for you to figure out, you can just do a video and that is completely fine. So I'm fine with either the flyer and a video together or just the video if that helps. And if you really don't want to share an image of you, you can put the flyer up and minimize the video and I'll just be able to hear your voice. All of those options are completely fine. Okay, anything else? Thank you so much for asking. I appreciate the questions. It's nice. Thank you. There's just a couple of other things for this week to highlight. If you have any other questions, put them in there, and of course I'll answer them. There's a little brief anonymous closing class survey. It's not worth any points. It's just if you have any feedback to share from the semester, I would love to hear it. It is anonymous, so I will not know who said what, so please feel free to be honest. Were there things that you liked? Were there things that you didn't? I'm always trying to make this class better, especially this one, right? I want it to be very information, very informed when I'm making these choices for next semester. So feel free to share with me anything that you liked or didn't like. There's also a little SLO question. Now, the psychology department gathers information about the outcomes of our classes. This is two short questions. It'll only take you a minute. It's not worth any points. But if you have the opportunity to do this, I would appreciate it. It is something that I do have to report to the college. And you're just answering two questions that hopefully everyone should be very able to answer after completing this class. The other thing, of course, is you have the optional extra credit, which I will give you in a moment. And I will, of course, post a recording of this in a little bit. I will download it and upload it onto Canvas here so you can watch it later should you need to go back. Or if you're watching this later, then you already found it. But let me give you a couple of quick reminders, and then I'll give you the extra credit question. I put this in the chat for the very last time. If your subscription expired, please renew it one last time for me so that when I am going through attendance for today, I don't have to look each one of you up. I really appreciate those of you who did this all semester. Thank you. It saved me some time and effort, so I appreciate you doing that. The other reminder I have for you, remember that our class officially ends Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. So I'm putting that in the chat just as a quick reminder. Hopefully that's very obvious, but everything needs to be turned in by this Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. That is when our class officially ends. So make sure that anything you want credit for is turned in. If you email me Monday morning at like 12:02 a.m., I will feel bad for you, but it will be too late. So please just be mindful of the time and don't miss that deadline. Otherwise, let me give you the extra credit question for this week. Kind of building off of that closing anonymous survey here. This is your week number 17 Twitch extra credit question. Please give me one thing that you enjoyed about this class and one thing that you would like to change to make it better. One specific thing that you liked and one specific thing that you would suggest in order for it to be better, right? And that's going to, again, help me. So when you're ready to answer that, you'll go to Canvas and you'll click on optional Twitch extra credit number 17, our very last one. I can't believe it's the last one. And then you'll click on start assignment at the top and you can type your response here in the box. Hit submit, as many of you have done all semester long. Get your confetti burst and little pinwheels. Oh, that's fun. I haven't seen those before. So this is also due by Sunday night. And again, you're just giving me one specific piece of advice in terms of something that you really liked and would want me to not change, and one thing that you would suggest changing to make it better. And I would just like to take this opportunity really quick before you all log off and take off. Thank you so much for a wonderful class and a wonderful semester. I'm really grateful for those of you who joined me on here every week or as often as you could. And if you're watching this later, thank you for that as well. I know that we all have busy schedules that are all over the place, but thank you for a wonderful class. I hope you enjoyed the class, even though it was online. I do teach a lot of other classes here at the college. I teach abnormal psych, human sexuality, and intro psych, should you need another psych class. But I hope you all have a wonderful finals week. Good luck on all of your tests. Have a wonderful summer. I will hang out for a little bit if you have any questions for me, but that is the end of everything that I had for you. Well, that's really sweet of you to say. Thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoyed this class, and it's very kind of you to say that I was an awesome professor. I'll take it. Thank you so much. I really have appreciated all of you, and thank you for the comments and questions all the way through. And if you think of anything else between now and Sunday, of course, email me. I am here, and I am happy to get back to you as soon as I can. So again, thank you, thank you, thank you. I get sentimental at the end, as some of you know if you've taken other classes with me. So I'm sad to see you all go, but thank you again. I'm going to minimize my video so you don't see me getting all sad and sentimental. But I will hang out for a little while. If you have any other questions for me, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, get going on the materials for this week. Make sure you get everything in and have a wonderful, wonderful summer. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for saying that. Thank you both. Right, I'm glad that you were able to attend, and I really appreciate you saying that I was supportive and informative. And yes, by all means, please come take another class with me. Most of my other ones are in person except for intro psych, but I think I teach them in a very similar way. So thank you so much, and I look forward to hopefully having some of you in other classes in the future. All right, everyone. It looks like pretty much everyone has logged out, so I'm going to close this up. But thank you again, and I will now download and upload this onto Canvas for those of you who would like to watch it later. Again, have a wonderful summer, and thank you all